Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news update show. And we've got a few stories coming in on Maguire. Eric Ten Hag not particularly happy with Maguire staying despite leaks saying that he was happy. But the most interesting story coming out today is on Ryan Gravenberch, and why this is particularly interesting is because it has come out from Fabrizio Romano, who, there's a lot of stories that come out about Man United, and I have to report all the news that comes out. And a lot of the time when I'm reporting Man United news, I'm like, oh, well, I take this one with a pinch of salt. But when it comes out from Romano, it comes out from a good source. And Fabrizio Romano has pretty much said that, look, Gravenberch United is serious. Like, keep an eye on this. This isn't like just some random link. Like, United having talks, they're in for Gravenberch. He's also spoken about Amrabat, and he said that United have got a bid for Amrabat now, or they could lose him to Liverpool. And that, there is a potential that McTominay could go, and that there could be a double signing for Amrabat and for, of course, Gravenberch, which would be ideal. But breaking news is just coming right now that Donny van de Beek could be staying at United. His deal to Real Sociedad has fallen through, which could cost United Amrabat. There's also reports on Todibo. There's also reports on Pavard. There's also a little bit of a story on the takeover coming out as well, but it's a half story, hence why it's not in the thumbnail or the title. So we'll get into that later. But basically, Amrabat is fuming with United. Absolutely fuming with United, reportedly. And honestly, I can't blame Amrabat for being fuming with United. But we'll start with this first story here. And I think this first story is particularly the most interesting story as well. Someone said the camera's not working. Is the camera working? Am I being trolled, or is the camera working? Some of you, let me just watch my own video. Some of you guys are saying the camera's black. Is the camera black? Is the camera black? Wait. Are you trolling me? Are you trolling me? Are you trolling me? I'm loading up my own video now because you guys are saying the camera's black. It is now. I'm so confused. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Loads of people in the chat are just saying your camera isn't working. Black screen for me. That's weird. That's weird. Oh, do you know what? I have to watch adverts on my own bloody video. I'm trying to watch my own video to see if it's all working now. I was trying to watch my own video to see if it's working now. Okay, we're fine. Maybe it was just glitching the first few seconds. Camera's working. Okay, good. Back into the stories then. Sorry about that 1 minute. La da da. So, obviously, basically news on Gravenberch, news on, of course, Donny van de Beek, news on, of course, the man Amrabat. But I think the news on Gravenberch is the news story that I do want to get into right now. But we're going to talk about Donny van de Beek and the breaking news that's come out. Sorry about that bad start. I was just checking my thing. It said new. Donny van de Beek's move to Real Sociedad has hit an impasse. Now, this is a big problem because Fabrizio Romano has come out and said for a while the hold-up in Manchester United's potential move for Amrabat has been because of Donny van de Beek. The hold-up in Man United's move for Amrabat has been due to Donny van de Beek. And if Donny van de Beek's move has fallen through, is there going to be more hold-up in Amrabat? Because it came out this morning from Fabrizio Romano that Man United have got to bid now for Amrabat. Amrabat is getting frustrated while he wants United over Liverpool. He will not wait much longer. He can't understand why this move hasn't happened and that United need to bid now. United's stance is we will not make a bid for Amrabat until we sell Donny van de Beek. Well, news coming in today is saying that Donny van de Beek is not going anywhere. Donny van de Beek is set to stay at United. And this is potentially dangerous news because it's not that we don't get Amrabat, it's also that if we don't get Amrabat, he goes to a rival Liverpool, considerably strengthens Liverpool, who need a midfielder. So it's like not only are you missing out on this player who's 25 million still in the market, but he is strengthening a rival. And the way I look at it is I go, Amrabat available for 25 million, for me, it shouldn't even be a matter of selling Donny van de Beek or not. This kind of deal shouldn't be down to whether we sell Donny van de Beek or not. I'll be honest, I think that's ludicrous from United. You've sold Fred for 12 million, you've sold Koa for 9 million, that is 21 million pounds. Okay, I guess we'll lower it to 20 million just with add-ons and stuff, but you've also got to think of wages saved as well. So essentially, we've raised 20 million since we bought Højlund from sales. Maguire's not McTominay, we don't know what's going on with that. West Ham might go back in for him. It's a bit hit and miss. Dean Henderson looks set to stay. Bailly's refusing to leave and again being a knob. Brandon Williams we could potentially sell. Is there someone in the Man United squad realistically that we can sell right now to raise funds? No one's going to buy much down the record. No one seems to want Donny. Bailly won't go. Maguire won't go. McTominay depends on West Ham again because maybe we shouldn't have rejected that 30 million bid for McTominay. And United stance is we're not going to bid to Amrabat unless we sell someone. Well, if Donny van de Beek's not being sold and McTominay, we don't know if he's being sold or not, and Dean Henderson now has to stay. This is not good for Manchester United. This is not good at all, because this means that we could potentially be missing out on Amrabat for £25 million because we cannot sell. Chelsea have just sold Lewis Hall, an 18-year-old that's played 9 first-team appearances, for £28 million, and we're letting Alvaro Fernandez go for about £4 million. You know, we should be saying no. We look at the Lewis Hall price. We want £15 million for Alvaro Fernandez. And if we sell Alvaro Fernandez, who I think we should be loaning out anyway, maybe that's how you raise funds to get Amrabat in. Maybe you need to sell Mejbri for 12-15 million. But Manchester United being awful at selling, Man United having no transfer strategy when it comes to selling, might be costing us probably the best bit of business that we could be doing in years on Amrabat. Arguably, if we can get that deal in for Amrabat, it could be the best business United done in years. But the problem is, Donny's move to Real Madrid is hitting an impasse. United have been told from Fabrizio Romano, if they want Amrabat, they've got to get Amrabat now. I'm going to get into what Fabrizio Romano has specifically said on the Amrabat situation, but Romano's main words were, if United want Amrabat, they've got to bid now, or they will lose out on the deal. Amrabat is fed up. Amrabat is growing impatient. And for me, you can't blame Amrabat one bit. And I sit here and I just don't understand why we're not even putting in a bid for Amrabat. When we've raised 20 million through sales, yes, he's 25 million, but why aren't we even putting in a bid for Amrabat? Why are we not seeing that Liverpool have opened talks and panicking? Because any other club would go and make that bid 25 million. Doesn't matter about FFP. That is an excuse. Doesn't matter about selling. They'd be like, no, we can't miss out on this player. If you watched how we played versus Wolves, we're not in a position where we can miss out on this player. And United should be going in and getting Amrabat done. It was said just in, Liverpool are not actively negotiating to sign Amrabat. They are looking at different options from Romano. So it's saying that what Liverpool, while they're interested in him, they're not actively negotiating. And I think that's the one positive. You know, that's the one positive that's come out from Fabrizio Romano, is that despite United needing to put in a bid now because Amrabat has Liverpool as an option, Liverpool are looking to pursue other options. And the reason Liverpool are looking to pursue other options is because Amrabat has told Liverpool he wants United. Amrabat has told Liverpool his focus is United, but Amrabat is getting very annoyed with United because Amrabat has turned down Juventus. Amrabat has turned down lucrative deals from Saudi Arabia. Amrabat has now reportedly turned down Liverpool, which is why Liverpool are looking at other options for Manchester United, who have basically been warned, you've got to put in a bid now for Amrabat or you might miss out on the deal. And again, to my mind, to my knowledge, I don't know why we're not putting in a bid. I don't know why we're risking missing out on this deal, but this is United. Now, maybe United have slowed down on Amrabat because they're focusing on Gravenberch. Now, personally, I like Gravenberch. I like Amrabat, and I do well. We sign both. But if I had to pick between one of Gravenberch or Amrabat, of course, I would be going with Amrabat because he's more what United need. You sort our problems in midfield. So maybe the Amrabat deal is being slow because we know that United are actively working on the deal for Gravenberch. Fabrizio Romano said in regards to Gravenberch to Manchester United that just in, Manchester United are really exploring the possibility of signing Ryan Gravenberch. Bayern Munich don't want to sell him, but the player has been insisting on trying a Premier League move in recent days. Gravenberch really wanted to come to United in January. Gravenberch asked to go on loan to United in January, but Bayern actually asked us to go and get Sabitzer because he was so new and he obviously didn't work out in his first season. Thomas Tuchel wants to give the player another season at Bayern to see how his career works out, but the player is fed up of sitting on the bench. He loves Erik ten Hag and his dream is United. And Fabrizio Romano said that United have actually generally opened talks with Bayern Munich about Gravenberch. It's difficult to see if it will happen because obviously Bayern Munich don't want to sell. However, you know, there's a feeling that if the player pushes for the move, then the deal could happen. But definitely if the player pushes for a move. And that, you know, he's also told Liverpool that he prefers United. The interesting thing about Gravenberch to United is he's told Liverpool that he prefers United. However, it's said that Amrabat is still top of United's list. So I think Gravenberch could potentially be a deal that might depend on what happens with McTominay and all of that as well. As a Liverpool fan, please take Amrabat and Gravenberch. Not good enough to get us a 90 points a season, says Easy Ole. Well, I'll happily take both. I think they're both great players. I think Gravenberch has been hit and miss recently, but I think if Gravenberch reaches his potential, he's an unreal player. But I think Amrabat's exactly what United need as well. The Glazers won't release the funds, which is essentially the problem. And as Steve says, and I agree with Steve, Amrabat is the deal we need. Gravenberch is a baller who adds size and physicality, but we need Amrabat first and foremost, says Alex B. And I completely agree. And we need Amrabat, Gravenberch, and Kudus. Getting all three would be nice. Now, the three players in the thumbnail are Amrabat, Gravenberch, and Joao Felix, because Joao Felix could be available on a free transfer. Joao Felix is discussing ways that he could actually end his deal and leave, join potentially United or Barcelona on free transfer. We will talk about that later. People saying that Ten Hag's obsession with Mount has screwed us up in midfield. We should have been getting Amrabat and Lavia signings done. And look, I like Mason Mount, but for me, I didn't think he was the profile that should have been a priority as well. I do think that Amrabat was needed more than Mount. But you know, I'm trying not to be critical of Mount because he's just joined and he might end up being a really good signing. I think it's too early to judge Mount, and there's no doubt there's a good player in Mount, but I was unsure if it was really the profile that Manchester United needed as well. But I want to really get into the interesting things said on Gravenberch and particularly on Romano, because Romano actually put out a YouTube video today speaking about Amrabat and speaking about Gravenberch. And Romano also tweeted that Manchester United and Liverpool have called again this week to be informed about the Ryan Gravenberch situation. I understand Bayern's position remains clear, but United and Liverpool are keen on it. And United Muppeteers that get inside information from United Muppeteers have been spot on about everything this summer, literally not got anything wrong. They said United obviously still exploring other options, with Amrabat not the only target, but this is still a serious option as of now. Gravenberch would like the move to United, but otherwise I don't know much. But, you know, you've got the United Muppeteers that have very strong inside links close to United saying, look, Gravenberch to Manchester United is a very serious option. The player really wants United. The player favours a move for United. And Fabrizio Romano even said on his YouTube channel today, I'd honestly seriously keep an eye on Gravenberch to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano said this. He said the words, keep an eye on Liverpool and Man United for Ryan Gravenberch, but especially Man United, because I'm told that Man United are really exploring the possibility and contacts have now taken place. And I think this is very, very clear from Romano. Really keep an eye on United, especially keep an eye on United. I'm told that United are keen. I'm told that contacts have taken place and that United are exploring the possibility. But Romano added that Manchester United's number one priority is Amrabat. But if United's number one priority is Amrabat and really exploring the possibility is Gravenberch as well, there is the question coming in, could United do a double deal for Amrabat and Gravenberch? So I spoke to some people and we asked and we spoke about the potential of United doing a double deal for Amrabat and Gravenberch, and it was essentially said Amrabat is that Fred Donny replacement, Gravenberch would be that McTominay replacement, Gravenberch would also be on a list with Onana. If McTominay is sold, United would go for two signings, but United are actually exploring the idea of getting Gravenberch on loan with a buy clause. And you know, there's someone said to me that I spoke to that although Ten Hag wants Amrabat, because if Donny stays, United might not have the funds for Amrabat and they won't be able to get on a loan, so maybe they'll get Gravenberch on loan, which I think is silly because Amrabat is the profile we need. While I love Gravenberch, if I had to pick one between two of Amrabat and Gravenberch, I think I would go with Amrabat. He's more what we need to help with defensive stuff, cover Casemiro. We've got a lot of players like Gravenberch. Wasn't United exploring if they could get Gravenberch on loan, and that United plan to bring in one more midfielder, whether Donny is sold or not, but that midfielder might have to be a cheaper deal, a loan deal, which is why United could be exploring Gravenberch. But the plan is, if McTominay, Donny and Fred is sold, it will be Amrabat and it will be either Onana or Gravenberch. But despite Man United having contact with Gravenberch, the thing being serious and Gravenberch telling Bayern he'd like to join United, again, Romano is saying the midfield priority, as far as he is aware, remains Amrabat. However, Romano was told the midfield priority, as far as he was aware, was Todibo, and then it changed to Pavard. There's potential that United could change targets, but I'd be very surprised in Ten Hag if he would go for Gravenberch over Amrabat. I know he's worked with Gravenberch longer and more recently. I think when you look at what Manchester United need in the gaping hole in midfield, Gravenberch is someone that plays the Mount role. We need someone that can play the Casemiro role, but we need also someone that can play the Mount role that offers something different, and that is Amrabat. He offers the defensive qualities that, no doubt in my mind, Manchester United are missing, and he would bring so much to United as well. Hey, Alice, I'm all the way from Texas. Camera is working. It's good that the camera is working now as well. Alice, you're in and out of echo chamber. Is everything good with the stream as well? No talking about signings to we sell and seems the crap we want to sell. Do you know what? Carl, you make a point. The thing is, we're talking about signings here, and there's a potential that Romano said that United could make a bid for Amrabat now, even if we don't sell Donny, just because United have been scared by Liverpool. So there's definitely a potential that we could make a bid. I think the only signings we can do right now is a loan move, which could be Gravenberch, which could be Joao Felix, so they are possible, or a bid for Amrabat. So these three signings are possible. But the thing is, we know when we sell, we haven't sold yet. So the question remains, when could Manchester United be signing someone as well? But it is said that Amrabat is desperate to join United, and you can't understand why why the deal is taking so long. More reports coming out that Amrabat is growing frustrated with United as well. We should be using loans of obligations. Some of the mega rich clubs use them, so why not us? Exactly, I agree with Alex. We should be doing a loan with obligation, but unfortunately, United don't seem to be interested in exploring that as well. We should have sold McTominay and Maguire for 60 million. I mean, look, we accepted the 30 million bid for Maguire, and he didn't want to go. I think McTominay, we could have pushed for 40 million because of the midfield market, and we thought the West Ham were going to cave. Unfortunately, they didn't cave, and we are regretting not getting 30 million from McTominay now as well. Guys, want 100 likes? Let's go and push for 300 likes before the end of the live stream. So please do smash that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and more, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I go live every single evening around 6 p.m. and then I do late night or early morning shows covering the news as well in under 10 minutes as well. We are buying no one. A lot of you guys saying I don't see United buying anyone. Joao Felix is a good signing. It depends if it's on loan or a free. If it's expensive, I personally wouldn't go for Joao Felix as well. And if you could sign 3 players in Syria, who would they be? Probably Amrabat. I think I don't watch a whole lot of Syria. I'm not going to lie to you. Amrabat, Kvaratskhelia, and then who's the best striker in Syria? Who's the best striker in Syria? Because I don't really rate Lukaku. Vlahovic have gone off. I'd go with Amrabat. I'd go with Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen. That's such an obvious one. Osimhen. They would be my 3 if I had to sign 3 players from the Syria as well. Everyone is frustrated with United. I think United should look at El Nesri. Would you take Joao Felix? I would take him as long as we're not paying stupid money because I think he's a bit overrated as well. And we need to learn if we lose Amrabat to Liverpool, will be really embarrassing. We need a player like him. And the thing is, Liverpool have been completely and utterly embarrassed this transfer window by Chelsea. And there's a small part of me that thinks, by the way it's going, that Liverpool might want to take it out on Manchester United. They have been embarrassed by Chelsea. They have been, and part of me goes, oh, maybe they want to take it out on United. But I want to continue into a few transfer news and stories, guys. So keep smashing the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new as well. But as you can see on my screen, it is said that Amrabat is desperate to join Manchester United and cannot understand why the deal is taking so long. Amrabat is fed up of waiting and that United will need to put in a bid now. And there are reports coming on that the Qataris feel that they will get Manchester United. There's a few interesting news on the takeover, but again, I'm so bored of talking about the takeover, guys, in all honesty. I'm absolutely so bored of it as well. And there are even more news stories coming out that Erik ten Hag does not want Maguire. Erik ten Hag is frustrated that that Maguire stayed because he wanted Kim Min-jae as well. Jack Talbot has come out with a really big and interesting report on what Erik ten Hag wants that I want to dive into now, guys. And then I will get into the Joao Felix story as well. But it's said by Jack Talbot that Erik ten Hag still wants a striker and holding midfielder with ball playing ability. He also wants a centre back, but with Maguire staying, that seems unlikely. So basically, it's been confirmed by Jack Talbot that Manchester United want to make 3 more signings. Erik ten Hag wants a striker. It's come out by the Muppeteers today. It's come out earlier today that Erik ten Hag is demanding a striker. I might make a video on that later, demanding a striker. But the priority is Amrabat. He still wants a defensive midfielder, and he would also like a centre-back, but he cannot get a centre-back unless Maguire goes. Jack Talbot basically also said in this report today that Erik ten Hag is frustrated that Maguire did not leave because he would like Kim Min-jae. His exact words, as I will get into now, is despite recent reports, Erik ten Hag does not want Harry Maguire, as he believes Harry Maguire does not fit his philosophy, and not happy that Maguire has stayed or chosen to stay. Erik ten Hag is frustrated that he has to keep Harry Maguire, and he would rather have someone like Kim Min-jae or Benjamin Pavard in the squad that suit his philosophy. So despite Manchester United putting out reports publicly that ten Hag is happy with Maguire, and ten Hag saying in interviews that, we need a big squad and all of that, private reports have come out saying that ten Hag is very frustrated. He wanted Maguire gone, and he wanted someone like Benjamin Pavard or Kim Min-jae to come in and replace Harry Maguire as well. That is what's been said on the situation as well. Amrabat is the most important player to sign, says Michael Jones. Puts our business in perspective. Rivals bidding and buying 100 million quid footballers, and we take months for a 30 million euro deal. Do you know what? You're absolutely spot on. Going back to the Amrabat situation, I think it's really, really embarrassing at the moment because, as Alex has said, Liverpool might have got mugged off for Caicedo, and Liverpool might have got rejected by Caicedo, but at the end of the day, Liverpool put in a £110 million bid for Caicedo. Liverpool bid £110 million for Moises Caicedo. Yes, they got rejected, but they were putting in 100 million bids. They were putting in 50 million bids for Lavia. The reason we haven't got Amrabat is because we won't put in a 30 million euro bid. We won't put in a 25 million bid. Chelsea are putting in 100 million bids. Liverpool are putting in 100 million bids. City are reportedly putting in 100 million bid for Paqueta. You know, Arsenal spent 100 million on Declan Rice. City want to spend 100 million on Paqueta. Liverpool were prepared to spend 100 million on Caicedo. Chelsea spent 100 million on Caicedo. All of the teams that we're competing with are putting in these 100 million bids, or even Newcastle putting in 60 million for Sandro Tonali. And there is Manchester United for a £25 million player, which is absolutely bargain. Man United are getting away with one here. Amrabat available for 25 million. Man United completely getting away with that. There he is, Amrabat, 25 million. Deal that Manchester United can do. Perfect. Brilliant. I know what you're thinking. This is perfect for United. This is the deal that United should be doing. United aren't putting in a bid. Oh, at least our rivals are putting in a bid. And it's like 30 million we can't even put in a bid. And we're saying it's because we can't sell, and we're saying because of FFP. You can't sell. You're useless at selling. It's not because of FFP, and you're hopeless. Look at Chelsea. Lewis Hall has been sold for 28 million today. He's an 18-year-old that started 8 games for Chelsea in his whole career. Yes, he's like Levi Colwill, and yes, he's like Reece James with unbelievable talent. But we aren't selling Alvaro Fernandez for that kind of money. We ain't selling Hannibal Meshby for that kind of money. Do you know what I mean? Why can't we put in a bid for Amrabat? Because we don't want to. And this is why the Glazers have got to go. These are why the owners have got to go. Because if we had Qatari owners right now, I guarantee you Kim Min-jae would have been signed. I guarantee you Amrabat would be a Man United player right now. I guarantee you Højlund, Onana and Mount would still be Man United players. And I guarantee you Man United would be going in for a second striker. I generally believed if we had Qataris, we'd have had right now Højlund, another striker, Amrabat, Kim Min-jae, Mount and Onana all signed already right now. And I guarantee you, if we'd have signed Kim Min-jae, players like Harry Maguire might have had to accept that deal at West Ham despite the wages, because Maguire would be 4th choice, 5th choice centre back at United. If Kim Min-jae comes in, he's 6th, 7th choice. Harry Maguire would be pushed into agreeing that deal. I guarantee you that. But because basically these players know they're safe at United, and United won't sign anyone unless they go, and they've got big wages at United, we can't push players out. So although Erik ten Hag is frustrated that he's got to keep Maguire, and he would rather have someone like Kim Min-jae and Pavard, Man United don't go and sign Kim Min-jae and Pavard. If I was Man United, if I was the Man United board, out of principle, I'd be going out of my way right now, and I'd be saying we're going to have to sign either Kim Min-jae or Pavard, and just tell Maguire is going to be even further down the list, and that's what he gets for staying. That's what he gets for deciding to stay. But unfortunately, Manchester United don't think like that. Manchester United don't use that kind of logic. Manchester United are not, what's the opposite of proactive? Reactive. I don't know what they are. Man United are not proactive. You see Liverpool, they go out and they sign players. Man City, this is the prime example of it. Man City had Fernandinho. Fernandinho was the best DM in the league at the time. And Man City knew that he was getting old, and they went and spent 60 million on Rodri. Despite having the best DM in the league, they went and spent 60 million on Rodri, and Fernandinho still played the majority of these games, and Rodri was moulded in, and Fernandinho moved to centre-back, and Rodri came up in midfield, and they brought Rodri in. So then the next season, when Fernandinho's age was showing, they had Rodri ready. That was Man City being proactive. Casemiro looks a bit shaky in pre-season. Now, I'm not too worried. I think Casemiro's like Wayne Rooney, where he always takes a few games to get going. We saw that with Wayne Rooney. But Casemiro, we can't be relying on him all season. He will get suspensions, he will get cards, he will get injuries, and we've got no one to play that role. McTominay. Man United should be going. Casemiro's getting older. We've got no one to play that role. There's a bargain player that can do the Casemiro role, available for 25 million, but he can also play next to Casemiro, which is what we're going to need against away against the big 9 at home, or we're going to get battered. So Man United should be going. It doesn't matter about selling Donny van der Beek. This player is available for 25 million. Let's be getting this deal done. Let's be getting this sorted. But Man United, they're not doing that. They're not doing that one bit. They're going, oh, we'll wait for a player to be sold. We'll wait for the market to react. We'll wait for Liverpool to put in a bid and steal him. And Erik ten Hag is getting frustrated because Erik ten Hag made it clear he wanted Kim Min-jae. We couldn't get Kim Min-jae because we couldn't sell Maguire. Erik ten Hag's made it clear he wants Amrabat. We can't get Amrabat till we sell Donny. We just buy Amrabat. We just buy Kim Min-jae. And we focus on pushing and forcing Donny and Maguire out. And if we sell them, we sell them. If we don't sell them, we don't sell them. Because we can spread FFP over 3 years. We can balance our books. We can do what Chelsea have done. And it is this big excuse. Man City had Fernandinho. They got Rodri. We've got Casemiro. We need another DM on top of Casemiro. It's like Man United won't do anything unless Casemiro gets injured. And a prime example of this is Eriksen. Man United were not going to sign Sabitzer. Were not going to sign a midfielder in January. Eriksen got injured, so they did sign a midfielder on loan. Okay? Man United's plan was to not bring in anybody in January. Zero. That Ronaldo cooked up a storm. They had to bring Weghorst on loan. Eriksen got injured. They had to bring Sabitzer on loan. Man United are not proactive. They're reactive. If a player gets injured, if for some reason, and I hope he doesn't, Casemiro picks up a big injury versus Spurs on Saturday, we'd put in a bid for Amrabat. We would. If we get battered 5-0 by Spurs on Saturday, we'd probably put in a bid for Amrabat. But if that is not the case, we won't do anything. And that is because United can put in a bid for the players. They can buy the players, but they say FFP this. It's just that United don't want to buy the players. They're not going to look and try and get this deal done unless they feel that they have to. And that's what they're doing as well. And this is a good point here. As for what I saw on the last game, our midfield is poor and finishing is too poor because there's no one who can shoot outside the box. I have to say, Manchester United lost possession in the final third more than any other team on the opening weekend of the Premier League. Manchester United's retention in the final third, Manchester United's retention in midfield, our ability in possession needs to be improved. We massively need Qatar, says Michael. I absolutely agree as well. Guys, please do keep smashing that like button as well. Amrabat is much needed to give our backbone in midfield. A holder with ball playing ability, that's Amrabat all the way, exactly, and that is exactly what Manchester United need as well. Just scrolling through the live chat, and I will get into the next story as well. I'd like a date with Taylor Swift. My chances are better than us signing someone, says John. And we want Decore, not Amrabat. I personally prefer Amrabat. And isn't it supposed to be Todobel Pavard, not Kim and Jay's already gone to Bayern? Yeah, but Kim and Jay was who we had an agreement with originally back in June. And Kim and Jay didn't happen because basically we couldn't sell anyone, which was our own fault as well. Murta and Arnold allergic to doing good business. Well, I thought we were doing good business. Do you know what the sad thing was? There was the first week of this transfer window. You know, and 2 weeks ago, I was saying, look, we've signed Højlund, we've signed Nana, we've signed Mount. It looked like McTominay and Maguire were going to go. 2 weeks ago, I was being so positive about the situation Manchester United were in. I was being so positive about the transfer window, how things were going. I was like, guys, this is great. We're looking to buy these players. We're looking to sell these players. This is absolutely great. We didn't sell any players. We haven't bought anyone since. And it fooled me. It fooled me because, yeah, you're absolutely right. We've not been good in the slightest at doing business. Alice, who are our realistic targets? Gravenberch, Amrabat, and Manchester United want another attacker in as well, is what's been said as well. Eriksen and Martial out. Well, Eriksen's fine. Martial, we want out, but he won't sell as well. It's on Maguire at this point. At least for us, we know he will hardly play unless we have many injuries. Yeah. You know what? Part of me, I want Maguire to play for United. I want him to do well because he's a United player and I want us to be good. But then part of me almost wants him to be kicked out of the England squad and Colwell to play with him next to Stones. And I'd laugh. I'd say it's your own fault because you would have played week in, week out West Ham as well. Get Maguire out, embarrassed and dropped from England. He'll beg to leave, thinks he can leave, have his cake and eat it. Do you know what? You're absolutely right. Going back to the Maguire situation, I think that you're absolutely right. I think the problem with Harry Maguire is he's so used to basically being able to play whether he's rubbish or not. Under Ollie, Harry Maguire was indestructible. Under Ollie, Maguire would get chance after chance after chance. Harry Maguire was always picked under Ollie. Always played under Ollie, no matter how bad he was, even if he wasn't fit, he'd play with Eric Bailly. Gareth Southgate seems to do the same. There was a point where Maguire hadn't played for United in 2 months, and Gareth Southgate called him up for England, and he starts in, week out for England. And I'll be honest, I don't trust Gareth Southgate to drop Maguire. I think Maguire could start 4 games in the Premier League all season, and he would still be playing next to John Stones for England because Gareth Southgate has that love for Maguire. And the problem is, I think Maguire knows that. I think Maguire knows that at the end of the day, even if he sits on the bench at Man United, Gareth Southgate will still pick him. He will still play for England. And I think because Maguire knows that, that's causing problems because he's like, well, look, I can make 200k a week at Man United. I'm only going to make 130k a week at West Ham. I can sit on the Man United bench and I know I'll still be playing for England. If I go to West Ham, I play week in, week out, but I earn less money. But it doesn't matter. I'm still going to England. And the problem is Southgate will likely still call up Maguire and still pick up Maguire, even if he doesn't play for United, because Southgate obviously has a lot of favouritism. And I think that, again, doesn't help because I think Maguire almost feels too safe. I think Maguire almost feels indestructible in his position again. And so, there's a lot of things that I think potentially are impacting the deal, which I don't like as well. I can't believe with the players off the wage bill, Ronaldo, Cavani, Weghorst, Sabitzer sold, Fredfield, Jones off the wage bill, Teller's gone. We can't afford Amrabat, Pavard, etc. I agree with you, Glenn. I think it's just Manchester United excuses. I look at the wage bill, I look at the players we've sold, I look at the situation that Manchester United are in. We saved 20 million just by offloading Ronaldo to Saudi Arabia. We made about 20 million from that, from offloading Ronaldo to Saudi Arabia. Not that Joao Felix was the most impressive at Chelsea, but it was said and it was stated that if Manchester United had gone in for Joao Felix on loan, it probably would have cost us 17 million for the loan, which is ridiculous for a 6-month loan. 17 million about the money Atletico want and the wages. But Man United made out that they were too poor to get anyone but their cost in January. The reason we didn't get Gakpo for 35 million was because we didn't want to spend 35 million. So we'd saved 20 million from Ronaldo going to Saudi Arabia and his wages, but we couldn't even get Joao Felix on loan. So the frustrating thing is, we know that United have the money because De Gea is 15 million a year in wages saved. Ronaldo is big wages saved. You know, the likes of Cavani, Pogba, Lingard, all these players on big wages have left. United's wage bill has gone down massively. Tellez was on big wages. Fred was on big wages. You know, even the players that have been sold, the amount of money that comes off the wage book gives us more money to invest in Amrabat. And I generally believe the money is there for Amrabat, but United won't make the bid for Amrabat unless we lose. Man United won't make a bid for Amrabat unless we get an injury. It's like Ericsson. We had the money there to bring a midfielder on loan the whole of January, but we didn't do it to the end of January because Ericsson got injured. That's what we'll do, and that's the really frustrating thing about the whole situation as well. Ivo says we need a physical presence in midfield. We have a team of weaklings who get bullied like Arsenal last year. Look at City, they look at home on the pitch as they do the wrestling ring. I think that's why we've been linked to Onana and Gravenberch, because they're more physical. I think, to me, replacing Fred is about Amrabat. It's having someone that can play as a 6. It's having someone that can play as an 8. But I actually think that replacing McTominay, he's our only 6'4" midfielder, is about Onana, the 6'5" guy. I think Gravenberch is 6'2" as well. So yeah, I think it is like we do need a physical presence. I think in an ideal world, McTominay and Fred go, and we bring in Amrabat and Gravenberch. I think in an ideal world, that's what United need to do as well. I'm just scrolling down a few chats as well. I'm so tired of hearing about Maguire and how he's doing great for England. Who cares? This is United we're talking about. Pogba was great for France, but rubbish for us. Should we bring him back then? And you know what? You make a solid point there. You make a solid point. If, you know, we knew what Pogba could do for France, we didn't do it for United. We know what Maguire can do for England, doesn't do it for United. There's no denying that Pogba and Maguire are decent players, but actually they finished at United. They've had enough chances. Adios. I think you're absolutely right as well. Alice says a difference. You won't force Maguire out, but AC Milan forced Tonali out as he didn't want to leave. I'm not sure if they did force him out. I think they advised him to go. But Tonali looks like a player that's happy to be at Newcastle, in all honesty. I think he is happy to be at Newcastle as well. Since Rooney, apart from Eva, who's been good for us at number 9? Martial had one good season at 9. Ronaldo had that one good season at 9. But yeah, you're right. Cavani had a good half season at 9, but other than one good season, Man United actually haven't had a good 9 since Rooney, other than Ibrahimovic. Well, Van Persie as well, but Van Persie left before Rooney did as well. Are we aware of our priority? We need a DM like Amrabat. We were exposed badly against Wolves. Gravenberch is not a DM, and you're absolutely right. And look, the interesting thing that came out in this news story is here. Erik ten Hag still wants a striker and a holding midfielder. Erik ten Hag wants a holding midfielder. Jack Talbot has come out and said, look, Erik ten Hag wants a holding midfielder. Man United, Erik ten Hag wants to sign a holding midfielder. For that reason, I believe that it will be Amrabat over Gravenberch. I think that United are exploring deals for both Amrabat and Gravenberch because I think ten Hag, worked with Gravenberch. Ten Hag obviously loves to sign players that he's worked with, and understandably, it looks like United are hoping to do a deal for both Amrabat and Gravenberch. But I think Gravenberch is about McTominay because, believe it or not, the McTominay transfer is not off. I spoke about this in my video that went out this morning. McTominay to Manchester United, that McTominay leaving Man United is still a possibility. It's looking more likely than Donny at this rate because West Ham are probably going to get 100 million bid for Paqueta because Kevin De Bruyne is injured and Man City are desperate. If West Ham get that money, it's been said by ex-West Ham United employee, very reliable West Ham sources, that Paqueta's trying to push for City. City are going to put another bid, and in that case, they go for McTominay. If McTominay is bought, United explore Gravenberch. Fabrizio Romano has said United are very much in for Gravenberch. Gravenberch to United is very serious. There's a genuine serious possibility that United will go out and get Gravenberch, or there's talks going on, but the problem is that Bayern don't want to sell, but Gravenberch is pushing for the move. Gravenberch wants United, but as far as I'm aware, the priority still remains Amrabat. And some reports are coming in from sources that, there's serious interest in Gravenberch. The priority is Amrabat, but if McTominay goes, it's Amrabat and Gravenberch. Now, Amrabat and Gravenberch is brilliant. That's what United need to do. But again, as I've said, will United do that? When do United do smart business? That is the worrying thing. When are United proactive? And You know, there is reports coming in that United are going to make a bid for Amrabat today, and that they've been warned. But these reports coming in saying, look, United are going to make bids for Amrabat, and that, you know what? Until Romano says we made a bid, I'm not sure. Romano's told United. Romano literally put out today, Man United need to make a bid for Amrabat now, or they could be in trouble. From Romano's mouth. So hopefully Man United see that and go, oh, okay, we need to wake up. We need to put in a bid for Amrabat as well. I want to quickly get into some news on Benjamin Pavard, some news on other players at Manchester United, and also a few other stories. But on Benjamin Pavard, Fabrizio Romano said that Pavard is prepared to leave Bayern now, but Inter Milan now have Pavard top of their list. The proposal is expected to happen soon, but due to the Maguire situation, Pavard to United is stalling. Fabrizio Romano pretty much all but confirmed earlier today, while Ten Hag wants Maguire sold and Ten Hag wants Pavard brought in. That is facts. Ten Hag's like, Maguire go, Pavard come in. But Fabrizio Romano has confirmed essentially today, Pavard to United is off unless Maguire goes. And Pavard kind of probably been told, look, his deal's probably going to be off because Maguire won't leave. And essentially, Pavard to United is not going to happen. Todibo to United is not going to happen. And I'm annoyed with Maguire. I think that Maguire should have left. I think that we should have sold Maguire in June and got Kim and Jay in. That was the original plan. But at the end of the day, I'm not crying over the Pavard-Todibo situation. Amrabat, we cannot miss out on. Amrabat is crucial. Amrabat is what United need moving forward. And Man United cannot miss out on Amrabat at all. If we miss out on Amrabat, we're in big, big trouble. We're seriously in big, big trouble if we miss out on Amrabat. So we can't do that. Todibo Pavard is not the end of the world. Yes, we do need a centre-back. Yes, we need depth there, but it's not the end of the world. If we miss out on Amrabat, for me, okay, it is the end of the world a little bit. And it's been said that United are hoping to close a deal for Amrabat with wages already agreed. The club's waiting for one of Donny van de Beek or Scott to leave. But again, I am worried. You know, we can lose. The reason I say we can lose out on Todibo and, of course, Pavard is because we have, at the end of the day, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Maguire, Martinez and Varane can all play centre-back. They can all do a job at centre-back, even Maguire. And Maguire's fifth choice. Luke Shaw can do a job, Lindelof can do a job. If something happens to Casemiro, no one can do a job at DM. This Mount Bruno Casemiro trio, it ain't working for me. We need someone else there. Fred was important last season. Fred was arguably our best team had Fred in it at the end of last season because Fred got better than Eriksen at the end of last season. We've not replaced Fred. We need Amrabat because one, it's just a bargain deal where there's no one out there for better value for money than United can get for Amrabat. But two, we need him now. With Todibo and with Pavard, it would have been nice to get them in, especially if it was Kim and Jay and got Maguire out. But at least next summer, we could get someone like Antonio Silva of Benfica, who's got an £80 million release clause, and he could be a number of centre-back. Potentially next summer, United have the potential to get a 60, 70, £80 million centre-back signing, and that'd be brilliant. Someone that's actually going to push Varane out the side. Because while Todibo is good, while Pavard is good, I don't think they're better than Varane. I think next summer we have potential to sign a centre-back that puts Varane on the bench. And that's what I want. Not because I dislike Varane. I think Varane is an absolutely fantastic, brilliant player, and I have no issue with Varane whatsoever. But why I think, you know, if we want to be an elite side, if you want to achieve great squad depth, then Varane is your bench depth. If you want to be as good as Man City, you need a player as good as Varane on the bench. And I'm not saying Antonio Silva is better than Varane now. He has potential to be. But I think missing out on a centre-back gives us an opportunity to get a big centre-back next summer. So while Maguire should have gone, why it's a disgrace, not the end of the world. Missing out on Amrabat for me, that is when United are in trouble. Glenn said it's pathetic that Murta and Arnold can't sell players when you see Chelsea City managing to sell players. 100%. I am 10 minutes behind on the live chat, guys. I'm going to ask you guys, if you put anything in the chat in the last 10 minutes, honestly, just repeat yourself. I'm scrolling down to the bottom of the live chat as well. Amrabat also basically a no release deal on a cheap, not huge wages. Even if he doesn't work out, it's not catastrophic as well. Thank you very much, Alex, for that comment. Absolutely spot on as well. And the two most important positions for me is midfielder and a striker, and that is Ten Hag's two priorities. It's come out today that Ten Hag's two transfer priorities are a midfielder and a striker, and that's absolutely right. They're arguably the most important positions. We are at 214 likes, guys, so please do smash that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. And who would you drop? So who do you drop from midfield? For me, my ideal midfield would be Casemiro, Amrabat, Bruno. I know Mount's a new signing. I like Mount, but it's Casemiro, Amrabat, Bruno. For me, that's our best midfield three. Casemiro, Kobbie Mainoo, Bruno, I want to see as well when Kobbie Mainoo's back from injury. But unfortunately, Kobbie Mainoo might not be back from injury until, when's it going to be? January. And if Kobbie Mainoo not being back till January isn't an ideal situation as well. People say it's a disgrace that Chelsea is cheating the system and you're not trying to scrape 25 million together. It's absolutely unbelievable. And if Casemiro, Varane and Martinez get injured, no, not getting Pavard, Todibo and Amrabat is a big deal. No Varane and Martinez, we are in trouble with injuries long term. Look, I agree with that as well. Alice Maguire cannot do a job at centre back. Let's be realistic. As a fifth choice, he's not bad. But to be on 200k a week, you can't be a fifth choice. That is my problem with it as well. Alice, do you think we buy Amrabat and loan Gravenberch with option to buy would be doable? I think it's doable, but it's Man United. I'm going to be honest. Like, this is what I tweeted earlier. This is what Alice tweeted earlier on the situation. I said, look, Gravenberch is a great player, but Man United need a player like Amrabat way more to help solve midfield issues. If we could get Amrabat and maybe Gravenberch on loan to buy, that would be ideal. Focus got to be Amrabat, but if we can sell McTominay, then we can go for both. If we sell McTominay, we can buy both. If we don't sell McTominay and we sell Donny, we can get Amrabat and we can get Gravenberch on a loan to buy. Because if Gravenberch really pushes for the move and Bayern Munich do sign another midfielder, and they've obviously brought Lema in, so that's more competition for Gravenberch. We can. Gravenberch has said to Bayern Munich, I want to leave. I want to go to United. Gravenberch is not happy. He will push for the move. If the player is unhappy and pushing for the move, as a manager, you kind of want the player to go. Now, Man United, if we were Chelsea, if we were Liverpool, if we were Manchester City, if we were even Newcastle, I think we could get Amrabat and then Gravenberch on the loan to buy. But Man United is Man United. And, you know, we might be the biggest club in England. We might be the greatest club in the world. We might be the biggest club in the world. But we are not anywhere near a big club when it comes to transfers. We're not anywhere near a big club when it comes to business. City would probably get Gravenberch on a buy to loan if they were in Man United's situation. Or sorry, a loan to buy. Man United will make Gravenberch's situation sound very difficult. Manchester United will make the Gravenberch situation feel like having to untangle 17,000 pairs of headphones that are tied together when it could just be a simple loan to buy. There's a possibility on that if the player pushes for the move and United come knocking on the door. So while I think we could get Amrabat and Gravenberch on a loan to buy, I think that is possible. I know that is possible for an absolute fact. It's difficult. And United don't do difficult, because if United are faffing about being too scared to spend 25 million on a player that's agreed to join and a player that is exactly what you need, an absolute bargain, you can't expect United to do anything if they can't do that. If United can't do the bare minimum, bring in a player we agreed personal terms with 2 months ago, just to highlight, 2 months ago. If you can't do the bare minimum, how can I expect you to try and push Bayern into changing their mind and loaning out Gravenberch, who wants to go out on loan? It's... You know, I can't trust United in that sense as well. United has to become ruthless. Ten Hag is ruthless, and Ten Hag is trying so hard to change the culture at Manchester United. Ten Hag has had conversations with Arnold and Murta, and we have seen slight changes. At least we got Mount, Onana and Højlund in before the first game of the season, and Ten Hag said you had to get my 3 main targets in before the first game of the season. Last year, they only got 1 of Ten Hag's 3 main targets before the start of the season. And Ten Hag is ruthless. He's pushing Man United to be ruthless, and Ten Hag has encouraged a few changes within Man United about, you know, you need to get the players quicker. We need less commercial days. We need less media days. We need more training days. But that's what Ten Hag wants. Ten Hag can push the ball, can push Arnold, can push Murta to be ruthless, sell McTominay, sell Maguire, sell Dean Henderson, put these stars up for sale. But at the end of the day, that's all Ten Hag can do. And United needs to become more ruthless, and Ten Hag is trying to get United to become more ruthless. But unfortunately, when you employ Dumb and Dumber, when you are run by absolute clowns, unfortunately, those people don't have logic, and those people don't know how to be ruthless. And they all they know is how to put out PR reports, put out news spins, put out media spins. That's all they know to do. They don't know how to do this, do that, be a big club, get this done quick, get this, that done quick. They only know to go, okay, we only buy a player if one gets injured or we keep getting battered. We don't have to buy unless we have to. If you want to be at the top, you buy because you're proactive. You don't buy because you have to. And again, it really winds me up with United as well. No matter what these execs have to be changed out, we will never sell when everyone views them as a joke. Exactly. No matter who the owners is, I don't think John Murta and Richard Arnold have done that bad of a job. And people will say, whoa, what do you mean? And I want to talk about this, okay? At the end of the day, John Murta and Richard Arnold are not good at their job, but they are better than Woodward. And the reason John Murta and Richard Arnold are not good at their job is 2 reasons. 1, because they are the Bristol Bankers Club. They're not footballing people. But 2, they've got people above them that control them on strings. They are the puppets of the Glazers. Now, John Murtough and Richard Arnold want to do a better job than they're currently doing. I know that for a fact. It's not their fault that we can't put in a bid for Amrabat. It's the Glazers' fault. John Murtough and Richard Arnold, they need to be gone. 100% need to be gone, need to go. But they physically, it's not their fault we're not bidding for Amrabat. They want to. Murtough and Arnold want to. It's the Glazers above them. So the most important thing is getting those owners gone. Those owners need to go. Those owners need to be out of this club. The owners are the biggest parasite in this club. When we get new owners in, I say to John Murtough and Richard Arnold, look, for me, you need to go. I know that it wasn't totally your fault, but I want someone in from Brighton with a proven track record of selling good and buying good. Even though you're trying not to overspend on players and improve United's strategy, and I don't think we massively overspent this summer, and I do think there's an improvement from Woodward, people will know you're John Murtough and Richard Arnold. People know they can bend you over. And we don't want people that Chelsea, Newcastle, Arsenal know, well, it's Man United. We can make themselves a dirt cheap and we can do this and we can do that. The board need to go. Man United's new owners come in, whoever it is, fingers crossed it's Qatar. Smash the like button if you want it to be Qatar. Need to essentially just come in and say to them, go, 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 complete new board. I want to see United bringing in people from Benfica, from Brighton, people who have experience bringing in elite young talent, whether it be cheap players, people who have experience like Michael Edwards, Paul Mitchell, and building a team. That's what I want to see from Manchester United and bringing in the right kind of people. And the Glazers would never do that. The Glazers like Arnold and Murtough because they can be puppets. They can control Arnold and Murtough. They will do what the Glazers want them to do. Even though Arnold and Murtough are getting annoyed. They do want to sign Amrabat. They do want to sell this player. They're not good at selling this player. They're not good at all. They're not good at selling Maguire. And most of it still comes down to Ed Woodward. The reason Maguire won't go is 200 grand a week Ed Woodward gave him. The reason Eric Bailly is refusing to leave is because Ed Woodward gave Eric Bailly a big new over a six-figure a week contract, even though he was on the bench for Maguire and played about. Bailly started about five games that season under Ollie, and United gave him a new contract. Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward caused so many problems as well. I think Mengi didn't Mengi leave United? Am I getting him mixed up with Laird as well? Some people saying, oh, should we start Mengi at centre back over Maguire? I feel like he's not even at United anymore. I feel like I should know this. Teden Mengi. I'm actually going to Google if Teden Mengi is still at United. No, he is still at United, but maybe it is Laird that left, isn't it? Sometimes I get mixed up as well. United don't have the ability or determination to sign new players at the time of the transfer window. Complete failure, this transfer window, says Jacko. And just bringing Amrabat, it's not that hard. Donny loan anyway. It's not like we will get significant fee for him. I agree with you. 21 is coming. Absolute facts as well. Would Bayern be stupid enough to swap Maguire for Pavard? Wishful dreaming. Maguire would probably go to Bayern just for the money as well. And he's got Kane there as well. Also, Alice, we don't have to worry about FFP until next year. We could move on Donny and Harry in January. Exactly. Really good point there as well. But United, the thing is, we know that United don't have to worry about FFP. But United just have to put out an excuse as well. We're on 239 likes, guys. We're going to go for 300 likes by the end of the live stream. So if you've not hit that like button, please do smash that like button down below. We go live every single evening around 6 p.m. We either live 5:30 to 6:30, 6 to 7, 6:30 to 7, or 7 to 8. But we're always live between 5:30 and 7 p.m. every evening. So please do click that subscribe button if you are not subscribed to the channel, people. It would mean a lot as well. Guys, we've saved money on our deals. Praise Arnold. We have said, the thing is, I've said, Murtough and Arnold have been an improvement on Ed Woodward, but a snail would be an improvement on Ed Woodward. A snail would generally be an improvement on Ed Woodward. A snail could move quicker than Ed Woodward. That is Ed Woodward for you. He's a fool. Man United needs someone like Amrabat. Don't understand the 4-1-4-1 formation. Sucks against Wolves. I do think Ten Hag will change it up. I want to say something. I will get back into the news because there's a few stories that's just come out. I want to say something. Erik Ten Hag played the first two games of the season where we lost 2-1 or 2-0 to Brighton. Was it 2-1 or 2-0? We lost to Brighton and we lost to, of course, Brentford 4-0. First two games of the season. Erik Ten Hag tried to play possession-based football those first two games of the season with, 2-8s, with a higher line. He realised David De Gea doesn't have the distribution qualities to do that. United didn't have the ability and technical quality in possession. And the first two games of the season last year, where United were really poor, Erik Ten Hag changed that. It wasn't just that he did a 14-kilometre run versus Brentford and shouted at the players and dropped a lot of the players. Erik ten Hag did the 14-kilometre run with the players, and he said to the players in the dressing room after we lost 4-0 to Brentford, "It is my fault as well as yours. I got my tactics wrong. I approached this game completely wrong. I underestimated Brentford. I underestimated the Premier League." We saw Erik ten Hag massively change his system for the Liverpool game, the Leicester game, the Southampton game that followed after that 4-0 Brentford defeat. What I will say with ten Hag is the Mount Bruno Casemiro did not work versus Wolves. And if we do that versus Spurs, it's not going to work. And I hate to say this, but Tottenham Hotspur looked very, very good in their first game of the season. Very impressive. And especially because it's away from home, I do worry. I do worry. But Erik ten Hag's not stupid. Okay, yes, he loves Mason Mount. Yes, he loves Antony. And I don't see those players being dropped. But I do see ten Hag tweaking the way he played because he will see it's not working. After the match, in the post-match interview, Erik ten Hag said in possession it wasn't working. We weren't good enough. I generally believe we will see Erik ten Hag adapt. I think we will see versus Spurs Mount play deeper or Bruno play deeper. I think it won't be a 4-3-3. I think it will be Mount or Bruno play deeper. I think Erik ten Hag will change it. And I think Erik ten Hag will find a way to make Mount, Casemiro, Bruno work by changing it. I think that he will change his system. I think that he will update his system. But I agree. I didn't like what I saw versus Wolves, but I didn't like what I saw the opening 2 games of last season, and ten Hag changed it massively. I don't think ten Hag's naive. I think he likes players like Mount and Antony, who we question should they be starting week in, week out for United. Have they been good enough? I mean, obviously, it's been 1 game for Mount. I'm not going to judge him off that. And ten Hag will play those players. But I think that ten Hag will tweak his system. I think that ten Hag is a clever man as well. Sell Sancho then 50 to 60 million. I don't think we can sell. I don't think we could afford to sell Sancho. I think Sancho was arguably really good when he came on versus Wolves. I think the impact that Sancho has on the team is really impressive. I think United are in a position that even if we got 60 million for Sancho now, unless we're going to replace him with Kvaratskhelia, Helia, I don't think we can sell Sancho. I think Sancho needs to start versus Tottenham Hotspur. And tomorrow morning's video will be a match preview for United versus Tottenham Hotspur. We have 52 likes away from 300 likes, guys. So please do smash that like button. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Easy Ollie says Amrabat plays for Fiorentina and had 1 good World Cup, and Gravenberch isn't good enough for Bayern. Amrabat 100% needs to be the priority. If you agree with me that Amrabat needs to be the priority over Gravenberch, do smash that like button as well. And something very wrong if other clubs are selling academy lads for double or triple what we can do, and that is because other clubs know that our board is awful. Other clubs know that Manchester United's board is awful, that we can take advantage of Manchester United's boards. So these other clubs are going, well, it's Man United. You know, if this was a Man City player, they'd go for 20 million. If this was a Chelsea player, they'd go for 20 million. It's Man United, 8 million. Zidane Iqbal went for 1 million. Criminal. Absolutely criminal. Man City sold James Trafford for 19 million to Burnley, who played with Bolton in League One. Alvaro Fernandez was one of the best left-backs in the Championship last season. United looking to get 6 million for him, where Lewis Hall, who started 8 games, goes to Newcastle for 28 million. Do you know what I mean? United should easily be getting 12 million for Kovar, 15 million for Hannibal Mejbri. We can't even get 10 million for them because rival clubs know that United are appalling at selling. Guys, the goal is 300 likes. We're on 252 likes, so please do smash that like button. Apparently the audio is breaking. It might just be my Wi-Fi connection as well. Keep smashing the likes. Mengi is injured. It was Laird that went and Mengi is injured, so we can't even use Mengi. I liked Ted and Mengi, but I don't think he's going to make it at United as well. Although he did play with the under-21s a few days ago, despite being injured as well. Yeah, so continue on as well. Someone's saying 3-0, 2-1. Was I asking about score predictions? Probably was as well. And did the players do another 14k run on Tuesday? They did not. Erik ten Hag did have a go at the players, but it wasn't. We won the game. He's not going to punish them for winning the game. Erik ten Hag made it clear he wasn't happy with the Wolves game. Erik ten Hag made it clear he was not happy how Man United were in possession, and Erik ten Hag's made that clear. And reports are coming out today that Erik ten Hag's made it clear he's not happy with Maguire's decision to stay, but he's not going to go and hate on Maguire and cause a dressing room issue about it. But the thing about Erik ten Hag is we complain about the midfield, we don't like it. This was poor, that was poor. Erik ten Hag sees that. Do not worry. Erik ten Hag is a clever guy. I give Erik ten Hag my full backing as well. I generally give ten Hag my full backing. Because I personally wouldn't have signed Mason Mount. I personally wouldn't have signed Antony. But they're Erik ten Hag signers, they're Erik ten Hag's boys. I trust that Erik ten Hag will adapt his season, adapt his system to make sure it works this season, to make sure it works as well. But it's not just about the midfield. We need Garnacho, Antony, Rashford, and Sancho all to step up and do their jobs on the wing. Pellistri, I think, might have to stay. I'm at the point where I wanted Pellistri to go and get a Premier League loan because I think there's such a player in there. But I think with Antony being so inconsistent, I'm at a point right now where I'm actually like, you know what, Pellistri can stay if he needs as well. That side lineup, Wolves could do much better with some tinkering on 8s played as false 9s. Do you know what? I would swap Garnacho for Sancho, put Sancho central so Rashford can play on the left, and then just move Bruno deeper to play him alongside Casemiro, and that's what I'd do versus Wolves as well. Erik ten Hag is stubborn, we'll see. Erik ten Hag believes in his system, he is the manager, he believes in his signings, but I think he will change it as well. There was a point in the game against Wolves that Garnacho, Rashford and Bruno all making the same run within 5 yards of each other. Bruno lost his discipline. Do you know what? I thought Mason Mount was better than Bruno. I rewatched bits of the game and I gave, in my player ratings, I gave Bruno and Mason Mount both a 5. And yes, Mason Mount didn't do much on the ball, but neither did Bruno. But Mason Mount's discipline off the ball was good. Now, Mason Mount wasn't particularly good, wasn't particularly impressive, and Casemiro was left isolated because of that. But Mason Mount off the ball did his work. He pressed well. He won the ball high up the pitch. He did a lot of good things off the ball that Ten Hag wanted him to do. And I think that Mason Mount was actually slightly better than Bruno rewatching that game, actually, in all honesty with you. But I think both 8s massively got it wrong. And I don't really blame Erik ten Hag and I don't really blame Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount and Casemiro meant that we lost the midfield. There was a gaping hole in the midfield and Wolves forced us to play out wide, but they could deal with Garnacho, they could deal with Antony, their wingers, their fullbacks could deal with our wingers. So we continually struggled against Wolves. We kept giving the ball away. We couldn't retain the ball in the final third. And that was because Wolves forced us into playing wide because they took advantage of a big gaping hole in our midfield. But that isn't Mason Mount's fault, and that is not Bruno Fernandes' fault, and that's not Casemiro's fault. I see people having a go at Casemiro saying he's finished, you're ridiculous, you're absolutely ridiculous. Casemiro's an unreal player. I see a lot of people taking out anger on Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes, and look, I wasn't the biggest fan of that midfield three. I don't know where the balance is. But that was on Ten Hag because he told Mason Mount and Bruno, he gave them the instructions to play that high out the pitch and leave Casemiro on his own. Our best game of pre-season was against Arsenal. Our best game of pre-season was against Arsenal, and Kobbie Mainoo played next to Casemiro. And Kobbie Mainoo is more defensively disciplined. What happened when Mount came off and Eriksen came on? Eriksen played deeper. We got better. What happened when we played Arsenal in pre-season, and that was the best we looked in pre-season? Kobbie Mainoo played next to Casemiro. You know, and Kobbie Mainoo played not as an 8. He played next to Casemiro, but in between Casemiro and Bruno. Bruno was a 10. Kobbie Mainoo was in between them. Casemiro held. When you play Casemiro 2-8s, it doesn't work. When Eriksen came in that deeper role, we got a bit better. When Kobbie Mainoo played with Casemiro in pre-season against Arsenal, did he play next to Casemiro or did he play on his own? Was it Kobbie? Maybe one set. Manchester United versus Arsenal pre-season. I think Kobbie Mainoo actually started, didn't he? Ahead of Casemiro. Let me actually just check that quickly. But we played best in that Arsenal game because we played deeper. We didn't play with 2-8s. That's what I mean. And for me, I think that the system can work as long as we don't play with 2-8s. That's what I mean as well. But anyway, Sancho and Martial should start. The thing about Martial is he didn't get any minutes in pre-season. So personally, I don't think that Martial can start when he's had no minutes in his legs. Maybe he can come on as a sub. Alice, relax. Spurs are as wide as the River Thames against Brentford. We'll score 2 or 3 there, but we need to play much better that match. Hopefully, I do think Spurs were good. But the thing about Spurs is they looked good versus Brentford, but that Spurs team is incredibly vulnerable. So while Spurs looked good versus Brentford, it was an incredibly vulnerable side. And I think that, United can exploit that. In fact, I actually think we're more likely to play better versus Spurs than Wolves, despite Spurs looking better under Ange, just because Spurs are more open, Wolves are more compact, Wolves were more disciplined. The way that Wolves had set up, they were very compact. They were very disciplined, and we were trying to transition. Every time we got the ball, we would literally just wait for Garnacho and Antony to run, and we were literally just relying on the transitions. We were completely and utterly relying on the transitions, which I think, again, you kind of noticed. I think versus Spurs, they will be more open. They will be playing more of the expansive style of football. That if Manchester United get their transitions right and Antony and Garnacho don't just give the ball away every 2 seconds, we could cause Spurs a lot more problems than we cause Wolves. We could look a lot better against Spurs just because of the way we can just play through them. There's definitely potential that United go ahead and look a lot better in that game as well. I heard that Mainoo was out until end of October, but on the Man United website it says he's out until January, or suspected back in January as well. And Pelistri to stay no loan, which I'm at the point, because I wasn't impressed with Antony and Garnacho, that Pelistri should probably stay, because one thing Pelistri does do is he doesn't have the goal and assist output, but he always is good at retaining the ball, keeping the ball, and I think that's something that United are 100% desperately struggling to do in the final third. No DM could have done a job totally being left on his own like that. Exactly. Anyone who's calling Casemiro washed or calling Casemiro finished after the Wolves game, just remember that no DM physically in football could just sit there and do that job on their own like Casemiro had done. No DM could do that. I don't even think Rodri could do that. It is like he was left on his own with absolutely no support. Wolves or not, Wolves are the favourites to go down. Everyone's saying Wolves are rubbish. Well, I think we underestimate Wolves. I think we've massively underestimated Wolves. This could be, Gary O'Neill, he went to Bournemouth. Everyone had Bournemouth to go down. Gary O'Neill goes to Bournemouth, and the next thing you know, Bournemouth will finish like 15th. Bournemouth had about 2 less points than Chelsea, didn't they? You never know. Wolves could finish 12th this season. We're like, you know what? Wolves is a difficult game. It's one of those games you should win. You should get the 3 points, but it's not easy. Like Fulham, everyone thought Fulham would go down, but actually they finished 11th, and Fulham gave us difficult games. So again, you never know with that sense as well. Wolves could be a better team than people are making out. You know what? I'll be honest with you with Wolves. I need Wolves to go and beat Brighton. Now, Brighton, if Brighton go and beat Wolves 5-0, I'm worried, because that game is before the Man United Tottenham game. If Brighton go and beat Wolves 5-0, I won't lie to you guys, I'll be worried. I need kind of Wolves to do something versus Brighton. But again, maybe Wolves are better than we thought as well. Maybe we can look at it in a positive way. Oh, maybe Wolves better than we thought as well. I back Mount, think he needs time to adapt to a new team, says Axeman. I agree. Even when Martial was fit last season, he was hardly impressive as well, said Alex. Yeah, he started the season quite well in the very few minutes he played. And I think the one thing that Martial did, and this is why I think Højlund's going to make such an impact, is that although Martial wasn't good for United, when Martial was in the team, the team played better. I like Ronaldo, but the Ronaldo didn't make the team play better. The team didn't link up with Ronaldo. I like Rashford is not naturally a striker. Their course didn't make the team play better. When Martial played, all the players at Man United played better. Rashford played better. Antony played better. And this is why I think Højlund coming back is so important, because it is the focal point that Højlund will provide. And it's not just about being a focal point, but Anthony Martial knows the areas to be in, the runs to make, to draw defenders in and away, which can help Rashford, that can help Antony. But what Martial can do is he has a good link up with Rashford, he has a good link up with Antony. He connects well with the other attackers. Rasmus Højlund, even if Rasmus Højlund gets 6 goals in 30 games this season, Rasmus Højlund coming in and just being a focal point, making those runs, drawing defenders out, being there in the box, but also being able to link it up with Rashford and Antony, which is why Rasmus Højlund was brought, just not because he scored a few goals. Ten Hag was clearly wanted Højlund because of the player that he is off the ball. I think Højlund will make us a better team. Martial wasn't good last season, but the players were better, and we were better as a team. The players around him were better because of it. And I think this is why I'm so excited for Rasmus Højlund to come back, because I think, we will be a better team just by having Rasmus Højlund in there. Even if he's not scoring Harry Kane 30 goals, it's the positional sense that he brings as well, in all honesty as well. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water, and then I'll get into a few more questions before I end the stream. I can't lie, this has been a really good stream today. I'm trying to get into the habit of doing a stream. I've been very inconsistent with streams at the moment, because this summer has been really busy. I've been working on a few other projects on the side, so there's been streams at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 10 p.m, 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I don't have any kind of structure at the moment to the live streams, but I'm trying to get in the plan of doing a live stream. I have some work commitments as well outside of YouTube, but I'm trying to get in the plan of doing a live stream anytime between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. UK time for an hour. And the first 20 minutes of the live stream is where we just talk about the news, we get into the news, my thoughts on news, all of that. And the last half an hour, 40 minutes of my live stream is where I just go through the chat and I chat with you guys, we share opinions. I'm trying to get in the habit of having a live stream. First 20 minutes focuses on news, the next 40 minutes is like chit chat, any news that comes out during that, talking about games, talking about projects. That's what I'm trying to get in the habit of doing. So I've really enjoyed this live stream, because I feel like we've had quite a few conversations. Like, I think the news, obviously I've obviously spoke about the Gravenberch news, and obviously the Amrabat news, but Gravenberch, Amrabat news, it's boring. Like, let's be honest, it's boring. Like, when I do a live stream and I spend the first 20 minutes talking about Gravenberch and Amrabat, and I'm saying things that I've said for months on end, it's boring. It's nice to just get the news in, and then we can have like a chat about Tottenham, what we expect, the positive stuff, and we can also have a rant about the Glazers, because we all don't like the Glazers. But it has definitely been a good show. Carl says, I think Pelistri should get more games at the time he should stay. Maino could fit better than with Mount and Bruno. Yeah, the thing is, one thing I want to say about Kobbie Mainoo. It's very clear that Erik ten Hag rates Kobbie Mainoo very highly, very, very highly. And I think that is really important for me because Kobbie Mainoo was playing in the Arsenal game. Kobbie Mainoo was playing in the Real Madrid game in pre-season. Erik ten Hag, and I know this, and I read about this, Erik ten Hag told Kobbie Mainoo in April, you've got a big season next season. Erik ten Hag had chats with Kobbie Mainoo in April and May. Erik ten Hag in May, at the end of the season, sent Kobbie Mainoo, June, he took Kobbie Mainoo to the FA Cup final where we lost, but Erik ten Hag had a very tight chat with Kobbie Mainoo. Him and his coaches gave Kobbie Mainoo an actual personal training plan, a role to study, a position to study, tactics, training, things to do. Because Erik ten Hag told Kobbie Mainoo, you're going to be involved next season. I see you as that Frankie de Jong, Paul Pogba player that I want to play next to Casemiro, but potentially someone that could play Casemiro's role. Erik ten Hag didn't do this for any of the other academy players, and this is where Sedan Iqbal went. Erik ten Hag approached Kobbie Mainoo with a clear plan and a clear role for him to study. And Erik ten Hag rates him highly. You saw him playing all the big games in pre-season, and he played well. I think when Kobbie Mainoo's back, it will be difficult because he's coming back at January, such a difficult time where we're not really going to have games where we can risk putting the first team player out for a youth player. And it's annoying that he's injured because I think he would be playing more games. But I really think that there's a chance that if Kobbie Mainoo, when he gets a few opportunities, takes it, it could be Casemiro, Mainoo, Bruno. Even though we signed Mason Mount, because I just know how highly Kobbie Mainoo was rated by Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag looks at this guy and he did all these things and he was like, yeah. Sancho and Pelistri could help us become more possession-based, not so wasteful with some of our attackers as well. And that's why, even though I've been saying we should loan Pelistri and give him the game time, this is why all of a sudden I've recently become more open to this idea as well. I can't wait to see Rasmus. I think he's going to surprise people, says Carl, hopefully. And he praised Sedan Iqbal as well, but where is he now? He praised Sedan Iqbal, but then he started playing Kobbie Mainoo over Sedan Iqbal even in those small games. And he praised Sedan Iqbal, but he never gave Sedan Iqbal a training plan. He never played Sedan Iqbal with the first team in pre-season. He always came on with the reserve team with Charlie Savage. You know, Kobbie Mainoo, I know from inside sources, Ten Hag loves Kobbie Mainoo. Absolutely loves him. And I think there's a big future there at Kobbie Mainoo. I'm sad about the injury. And I have to say, everyone's getting injured. Reece James is injured, which I'm sad about. And Cuckoo's injured, which I'm sad about. And I don't support Chelsea. Jurriën Timber's injured, which I'm sad about. Even though I don't like Chelsea, I don't like Arsenal. The fact that these really talented, good young players are getting injured first game of the season is horrid. Kobbie Mainoo getting injured is absolutely horrid. And the thing is, they're adding, and I'm going to have a little bit of a rant here, but they're adding more and more games to the Premier League season. More and more games are coming into the season. More and more games, adding more games. And I think, 5-6 more games is going to be because of course, the new Champions League format next season. But they reckon the footballers, because of the stoppage time changes, they reckon the Premier League is going to be the equivalent to 41 90 minutes instead of 38 90 minutes. Or no, 42 90 minutes. They reckon the amount of time added in stoppages will be the equivalent of playing 4 more games a season. On top of the 5 more games a season that will be played in the new Champions League format, at least. That is United having to play essentially 9 more games next season, or minutes worth of games. 9 more minutes worth of games next season. And for me, I love to watch football, but I don't like that. I don't think that's acceptable because then they have those international games, those silly friendlies, the Nations Cup. And I think we're just seeing players getting injured so much. And I'll be honest, I think that is a massive part of that as well. FYI, audio sounds distorted. Is there problems with my audio? I don't know if it's just my Wi-Fi connection. I might buy a new mic and a new camera. Because anyone that's been watching, any mods or anyone that's been watching the stream for a little bit, just let me know if audio's been in and out. Because a few people have complained in the last few streams about audio cutting in and out. And I don't know if there's maybe a problem with my mic. I don't know if it's my internet connection. So if it's been good, but might have had a few cuts in and out, just let me know, because I do apologise if there is a drop in quality with that as well. You can tell in pre-season that Mainoo's going to be class. When Højlund plays, I play Sancho in the right wing. Anthony's one-dimensional, footed and predictable with no assists. I agree. I like Anthony, but Højlund needs service. For me, here are my 2 front threes, okay? First choice front three would be Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right, and Højlund in the middle. And that is because Rashford is direct. Sancho crosses it in. I think Sancho looks good on the right. Sancho on the right, Rashford on the left, Højlund in the middle. That is my first choice front three. My second choice front three is Sancho in the middle, Rashford on the left, Antony on the right. Yep. And then if they are not effective, Pellistri and Garnacho come on definitely. Because I love Garnacho, but he's an impact sub. I like Pellistri, he makes impact. That is personally how I'd line up and involve Manchester United next season as well. Nick says all good, all seems fine. Okay, so Nike's not been too bad. I probably do need to upgrade Mike and stuff because I've been using the same equipment to go live for the last 4 years, and we have grown in subscribers and viewership since then as well. But yeah. But injuries suck and audio is ace. Okay, big up everybody in the chat as well. No too many issues with the audio as well. Does Eric Ten Hag love Maino more than his own mother? You never know. You never know. There are certain players you just know Eric Ten Hag loves. Højlund is also technical and creative. His link-up play is better than most acknowledge. 100% agree. And on Saturday, only 3 points will do. That should be a mentality no matter what the team play, home and away. So Steve, I agree. At the end of the day, the game this weekend, the match this weekend, if someone said we play shit and we get 3 points, or we play unreal and we don't get any points, I would take the playing rubbish for 3 points. Because you know what? If we play rubbish and we get the 3 points, we've got the 3 points and we can work on playing better. If we play good and don't get the 3 points, we lose 3 points to Spurs, who are a direct rival. Not that I think Spurs will finish in the top 4, but they don't have that European commitment. They're a lot better than people think. They're going to have less games this season. I would definitely watch out for Spurs. I definitely think Spurs are capable of doing something. But anyway, people, I am going to wrap up today's live stream, but I'm just going to make sure before I end the live stream that no breaking news has come out, because I don't want to end the live stream and then literally have to go live 10 seconds later. So we'll just check the news as well. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up the live stream here because it's a longer live stream, but I've been doing a lot of 45-minute live streams and they used to be 55 minutes. So we can do an extra long live stream to make up for the lack of live streams recently. But please do smash that like button. Please do subscribe down below. Thank you everybody for watching today's video. Share the videos as well. There should be an upload about 10 p.m, 11 p.m. tonight, a transfer roundup. There's a lot of news that's come out on Maguire, McTominay, Amrabat, Gravenberch. Tonight's video should be a transfer roundup on all things transfers regarding to United, summing up every bit of news story that's come out today in less than 10 minutes. That will be out, I'd say 11 p.m, 10 p.m, midnight, depending on what I've got to do. Thank you for watching. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. See you next time, and bye.